A lot surrounds the conversation of one of the most successful franchises in video game history. With how long it's been around, you think they'd get their finger wrapped around what their players want and need. But with every year, there seems to surround their releases a lot of discontent, and it surely should not be simplistically dismissed as merely resulting from a toxic fanbase. Surely staying consistently at the top is not an easy thing to juggle. The world moves on and so do games. There will come times when you are temporarily bested, but being a veteran as Call of Duty is, you certainly expect it to overtake the others again at one point or another. But they don't seem to be relatively doing that great. In their relay race for the maximum chunk of gamers' pockets, Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Treyarch have had their share of successes and failures. No matter which games you deem these to be, I argue that what might have started as an honest mission of delivering consistently great games has now landed Call of Duty in an identity crisis of sorts, something that now has set them on a persistent laboratory state. This wasn't helped when battle passes and microtransactions came along, and the fad of the battle royale style games exploded. The video game industry is ruthless, and people supposedly put their money on what they like. So it's no surprise that Call of Duty's self-esteem relies on how much money it makes. For it to be sustainable, of course, money should be the leading factor. But I think all of its fan base can agree, Claymore Sentinels and Sweaty Dolphin Divers, that money has increasingly become the only palpable motivator. That again I will not criticize, but it does make the player feel rather unloved, as though discovering that your high school sweetheart was in it all along to come for your money when you had it. This identity crisis of Call of Duty, I think, is transmitting down to the gameplay and into the player. For it is not an uncommon thing to hear from a Call of Duty player the question, why the hell am I even playing this for? I promised myself I would make this video without mentioning once the subject of skill-based matchmaking and its sinister casino-like corrupting possibilities. I will remain optimistic about it, about the prospect of it working right someday. And I should add that lately, Modern Warfare 2 has been feeling delightfully varied in their matches in my experience, having both super tough games, other more easygoing ones, and some in the middle. But I return to that pestering question, why the hell am I playing this? Well, personally, it's a medium in which I connect with friends and siblings abroad. Something that does mess with latency, but I put up with it. It's a social thing for me mostly. Which brings me to my point that the social aspect is Call of Duty's most crucial side, which recent decisions seem to want to diminish. Of course, the multiplayer experience is a social one, but what about the gameplay itself? I believe that the point of a multiplayer first-person shooter is for the player to impress their personality upon the game and upon each match. The gameplay is just a vessel for it. Call of Duty has in different instances succeeded perfectly in the gameplay for the genre. The problems have only truly come when they have limited the ways in which different gamers can express themselves. Everything else is forgivable. There are decisions in which we get to express ourselves and imprint ourselves in each match. Do I play selfishly for my KD, or do I play for the team and sacrifice myself in order to win the domination match? Do I play with the meta weapons, or do I go for the weapon I irrationally love the most? Do I unlock all the camos so that I can show my mastery of the weapon or category? How can I be the best for my team? How can I make a statement through my gameplay? These types of questions, although they might seem silly, matter every time the player picks up the controller. It gives the player an answer to the pestering question, albeit an unconscious one. The gamer simply wants to impress their personality onto whatever the gameplay might be. Domination, team deathmatch, warzone, gunfight, whatever. We want to express ourselves. We can look at other successful games like Minecraft, Grand Theft Auto, or Pokemon to see the same thing in action. They all offer great possibilities of expression, of playing the game in ways that feel personal and unique. Call of Duty has achieved this in different moments, but with every step forwards, it seems they unnecessarily take another step back. If we look at the innovations of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 in graphics, it is simply amazing. But as for everything else that they try to innovate, it seems they royally mess it up somewhere. What keeps this game alive is what is all tried and tested since years ago already, and almost every innovation seems to miss the point. Let's take a look at the infamous store. When, after much persistence from the user interface, the gamer finds himself in it, there is one main takeaway in the gamer's mind. If I buy this, it means nothing, because anyone else can buy it too. And also I would look stupid for spending $20 on a skin that means nothing. It is difficult to form any attachment to the operators in this game. And no matter how flashy and cool the skins in the stores might look, there isn't enough there to make it feel like anything else other than burning money. Add to this the endless weapon skins that at this point mean nothing. Having gold or titanium or whatever else does not feel like much an achievement anymore. It doesn't reward what might be the gamer's aspiration to show their skill, dedication, hard work, or whatever, because there is another skin in the store that looks very much like it or even better. Then if we look at the lobbies, they don't feel quite right. Constantly disbanding and designed to obscure the players you're about to play with, there isn't a lot there that feels sociable. Calling cards that mean nothing and are not really showcased. Prestige and ranks that have become quite meaningless too. There's not much there for the player to feel present or seen. It all feels transient, making us wonder, why the hell am I playing this? We're playing it because it is unarguably a good game which is so gigantic it is near impossible to compete against. But we stop playing it because it feels fleeting. The sense of progression is nullified by waves of confusing junk in the form of calling cards, stickers, and skins. Our gameplay expression snuffed by imbalanced weapons and maps that support one personality over the others. Surely patches in time are seen to fix this, but you think with their gathered experience they'd have a better grasp on this. I've been enjoying Modern Warfare 2 lately, and whatever the next one is, I will be buying it. Not because Call of Duty's amazing marketing campaigns or their mastermind microtransaction ploys, but because of brand loyalty. I just hope this loyalty is reciprocated before someone else comes along willing to listen.